Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married
And bored.
Hey everyone, we are back to podcasting. It's been a long break, Christian.
Yeah, we did take a break, didn't we?
That's what I said.
I'm just confirming.
Okay. Yes, you were there for our family vacation,
Yeah.
so...
No, it's good to be back. I feel like we've played some games, we've not played games, we've done other things, and we've played more games. So it's time to podcast. I was going to say talk about it, but it came out as talk about it.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Podcast talk about it.
Yep.
We have maybe reinvigorated our love for playing games by taking a little break from daily grind, COVID daily grind of in-home office work.
Yeah, definitely. I think, we have been on a break. It's been a few weeks since our last episode, more than normal. We did take a family vacation up north to the homeland, Minnesota, where we're both from. And it was good to get away. It was good to recharge the batteries.
Yes.
Shuffle the cards.
Shuffle the card deck.
Whatever you do, reset the encounter. And then go again.
Yes.
Whatever other game thing I can't think of anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, we spent a couple of weeks on vacation. 2 weeks on vacation, and then we were at the lake up there, just kind of hanging out with your family. It was a good time.
Yeah, I feel recharged.
Yeah.
And now we're back in 110 plus degree heat here in Arizona.
Arizona sucks.
In the summer. For sure.
Yeah, it is way too hot here. But we are happy to be back with everybody. We hope everybody is having a good and safe summer. But we're here again to talk about games. We'll go into a little bit more detail on what we did on our vacation, maybe some places we went, some games we may have played. Do you want to start that conversation?
Sure. Is this like our What's Up segment?
Except
we're doing it together?
Yeah, let's hold hands. Give me your hands.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay.
And on the count of three, let's just say, what's up? 1, 2, 3. What's
up?
We did it.
Oh, you didn't even give me a chance. Okay, I'll start us off. So we knew we were going on a trip. We knew we might have a little extra room because we were driving this time instead of our normal flying.
Yeah.
In terms of packing. So we were thinking, okay, we know we want to pack a game or 2 or 3.
I think we brought 3 is what we ended up bringing, didn't we?
Yeah, but we also know we wanted to buy some games.
Yeah, true.
Because, Fantasy Flight is in Minnesota. So the first discussion was, what are we going to pack on this trip? And it's always fun to think about. And it varies depending on who's going to be on the trip. We knew we would probably play most of the games just by ourselves.
Yeah.
Because of who was on the trip. And that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. Christian has a cousin that played with us a couple or 3 times.
Yeah, he was there with us this time.
So we decided to pack some lighter games in terms of intensity and strategy and also in terms of space.
Yeah, form factor was a big decision.
Yeah.
In how much space this took up. In the past, we've gone back to Minnesota a handful of times. In the past, we've brought stuff like Keyforge. That's super easy to just throw in your backpack. We debated bringing Arkham Horror card game.
Yep.
Like just bringing a few scenarios of that. But we just didn't know if we'd have enough time to even play that one. So we were looking for more shorter experiences because we didn't know how much time we'd actually have and be able to dedicate playing games.
Yes.
And we didn't really know if we wanted to dedicate a ton of time playing games just because we were on vacation and there was other things to do and see. So
Right. So we ended up bringing Railroad Inc.
Yeah, that was fun.
And
it is fun.
And we ended up bringing That's So Clever.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
For me.
Yep.
And then Cosmos. No.
No.
Goodbye, Cosmos. I always call it
Cosmos.
Cosmos.
Don't
Oh my
you?
gosh.
It's right there.
The Crew.
Turn around.
I can see the box in my mind, everyone. Just so you don't think I haven't played it. I have played it.
It's deceiving because there's a guy floating in the cosmos.
Every time
space.
I see the box in my mind, and I just see Cosmos, not the Crew.
Cosmos Kramer.
I need to work on it.
So we bought the crew, and I think that one actually got played the most. We had a pretty good time playing that one because it's quick and it's very simple when it comes down to it. If you've ever played hearts or spades, any trick taking game, you know how to play this game, and there's just different rules that you have to learn for this one specifically, but you understand the core concept.
Yeah. Now that you're talking about it, you want to just change the episode to talk about that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. There's not much to it. I think I explained everything.
No, I would say, can I just like slip in a little comment right here?
Yeah, it's our show.
I would say that it's probably easy to us because we have grown up with cards in our background.
That's true.
In our family history.
You more than me.
Yeah.
I didn't learn how to play poker or hearts until like junior high.
Okay.
But
and I grew up with bridge and...
Yeah, you went to bridge clubs.
I grew up with my parents taking me to their bridge games and my dad asking me things. I was probably 8 or 9 years old and he'd make me watch at the table and he'd go, now do you know why I just played that card and what that means?
Is he here right now? That sounded...
Did that sound like Roger?
It sounded like him.
Okay, so I might get a little intense about card games.
Yeah, you do kind of throw me like the evil eye when I play a card and you're like, why did you play that card?
Well, because I expect you to know the proper order.
Yeah, like I'm supposed to know
things.
Everything.
Okay.
It's
enough of the crew.
It's a very fun game.
We liked
it's
it.
Very popular. Our friend got it for us for our anniversary a few months ago. We were very happy to play it. We're looking forward to playing it more because it is so quick and easy. What else did we play? I'll tell you. Railroad Inc., which I think we talked about.
We talked about buying that here in Arizona before we left.
Yeah, I do like that game. It's one of those where you have played it much more than I have because if the kids are doing homework or watching a movie, you have more time throughout the day to just pull out one of those smaller games like that, and so you roll the dice and you know how to connect roads and streets better than me. But I do like playing that one.
Yeah, we played that with your cousin as well.
We did.
And then I brought That's So Clever. I probably didn't play it more than twice.
I think I only played it twice, which is 2 times. I think I've played the game a total of 4 times.
So that was double.
Yeah.
You doubled your playing.
But I think I beat you once.
I think you did.
I got massive
but you know
scores.
Let's not talk about
Hundreds of points is the most points you've probably ever seen.
Let's not talk
Best
about
points
it.
ever.
And then we should talk about the new game babies that we acquired.
Game? Is that what we call them now? Game babies?
We brought them home.
Yeah, like we mentioned, we did go to Minnesota. And one of the things that I started out loving, I made us start doing this before you were kind of like all in on the games, was like we went to the Fantasy Flight Game Center to just breathe in the air.
Yes.
And peeking through the windows.
Yes.
No, but I always try to buy a game there just to say that I was there and this is the one I bought. I've bought some duds before.
We have.
Discoverland Unknown. But
you can say it louder for the people in the back.
But yeah, it was really fun. I mean, with COVID, we had to wear masks and they had all that stuff. Everything was like super spread out in the store. Usually it's much more like condensed. And they have a huge area for play space. Can't do that now. So a lot of their inventory got moved out into that area. And I liked it better.
I was really impressed. Like, really impressed. And I've been there as many times as we've been back.
It's like 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah. So I was very impressed with the precautions they were taking. It felt safe and clean. And if you haven't, if you've never been there, or if you haven't been in Minnesota since Corona,
sure,
you should take a look at our Instagram at Married and Bored. We did a post. I think it's a picture of us in masks on the front, but if you scroll through, you'll see video of their store. It's beautiful. So I think they've done a good job of, in general, making it look clean and inviting, and especially taking the precautions with coronavirus.
Yeah.
So,
one of my favorite things in the store is they have a huge mural to Twilight Imperium. Just a huge, giant, lion. And if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. I still need to play this game, but just knowing about it, like, I recognize it. And so it's just really cool to see a whole wall with, like, a mural.
Our kids love it.
Yeah. Our son's just like, there's a huge lion.
Yes, that is a huge lion.
Yeah, so we bought a couple games. This year we picked up Letter Jam.
Yes, I had kind of a bee in my bonnet is what I call it about this, which means I've just been seeing it in a lot of different places, and no one has been quite able to tell me, like,
What it is.
enough about it. So I really just wanted to see for myself. Now, I knew it was going to be a party game.
Yeah.
And I knew it was, different than games we've normally picked up in the past there. So I was prepared for that part. And we have since played it with each other to kind of walk through the rules.
Yeah, I will say when we played it, just the two of us, it's a terrible two-player game.
Yes, terrible.
Don't play this game with two people.
But we did it with the intention of kind of learning the rules.
Yeah, and we did, kind of. But everything made so much more sense when we added 3 more people.
Yes, we sat down with our friends once we got home, and it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was good. We all won.
Because it's cooperative.
Yeah, we all jammed.
We all jammed. We all letter jammed. And then Christian had his eye on something.
Yeah, the game we're going to talk about in this episode, Cosmic Encounter Duel.
Yes.
I have wanted to get this. Actually, I knew it was coming out in June, July, and I kind of like pinned that one as my target for when we were going to go visit. Because there was nothing else really coming out in that time frame. So they had it, we got it, played it, podcasting about it.
Love it. Got it, played it, podcast, love it. Okay. And then I think we have to talk a little bit about, we were at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house.
We did have time to play games, not the games we brought, but we played a lot of games with our kids because...
Yes, if you have not been to our website, marriedandbored.com, you have to go just for the fact that there is a picture of my parents' game closet in there. And I think it's just a picture straight on, so you don't even get the side view of like all the games tucked into the nooks and crannies of the side. Mm-hmm. But this closet is just stacked with just nostalgic games.
It's true.
And so we played a lot of those. Nothing
beyond the year like 2002.
Oh, I mean, maybe for presents. Like
we did buy them
for
Splendor.
For gifts they've gotten stuff, but they haven't added to their collection since the 90s.
There's a
themselves
vintage Light Bright in that closet.
Yeah.
There's one of those marble runs with like all the little swirly things and jumpies.
Mm-hmm. So we worked through, at the top of my head, we worked through Chinese checkers.
Yeah, taught our kids that.
And stadium checkers, which Christian had never played, right?
No, I had never seen that before. That was cool.
We might have to include a little picture on our website of the stadium checkers. Jumanji. And which I've recently seen at Target.
Yeah, I think
I wonder if it's the same.
I think it is. I think they re-released it because of the new movies.
Oh.
And also our friends who we played Letter Jam with.
Yeah.
They have it.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a big wooden box of it.
Boom.
Yeah.
5 Straight, which is kind of like sequins, but with just
those one with the pegs, right?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
With just numbers, not cards like queens, kings. Candyland, of course.
We had to play Candyland, which finally our kids are getting maybe too old for that one.
Yeah.
Which is nice because it's boring.
And then It From the Pit.
It From the Pit is the classic 90s. It's a classic 90s like Milton Bradley game because it comes in a giant box.
Humongous.
Of this like plastic form not form filter, but I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But it's like plastic formed board game that's raised, and it's just so big and flimsy. And if you like flick it, it'll just crack and break. But it's like it's fun. It's just a hectic game. But our son, we played it a year ago, loved it.
Loves it.
And he was 3 at the time. He thought it was the greatest thing. This monster comes out, grabs your character, and then pulls it underneath the board. And then this year, for a year, he's just talked about...
It from the pit.
We're going to play It from the Pit, Dad, when we go to Grandma's house. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, we'll play it. And we played it. And then he didn't want to play.
He was very scared of It from the Pit. He wanted to watch us play.
Yeah, I'm not going to...
We didn't do that, but... I'm just saying it was kind of funny how he would talk about it still, but then when we'd say, okay, put your piece on, I don't want to play.
Yeah, they get kind of weirded out with things that they don't know what's going to happen. So, like, a good example is another 80s, 90s game is Don't Wake Daddy, where you have to go around the board and press the button a couple times, and if the dad pops up, well, our daughter won't press that button, and she's almost 8 years or 7 years old.
Yes,
and she still won't press it at all.
We'll even like press it multiple times just so the dad will wake up and she can like
see what it is,
know what happens, and okay, see,
yeah,
not that scary.
Yeah, another good example of this is Pie Face. Remember when we got them Pie Face?
Yes.
We thought it'd be so fun, so funny, and we've had it for almost 2 years, and they still have not put their face in that dumb thing.
No, we do.
And you and I have gotten...
How many times have we gotten pie face? Just like, look how fun it is.
Yeah, and then they're like, can we have some whipped cream? Can we have some whipped cream too? And we say, no.
Say, no, you get your dang face in the hole and play the game.
Yeah, so that closet it's always fun to go there because I feel like I see something new every time.
Right. Even though there's in actuality no new
Well, there's nothing new, but it's like, oh, there's like an Allies and Axis game from like 1981.
Yeah.
Or there's, I don't know how many copies of Trivial Pursuit you guys have, but like, I know your dad was a doctor and he was very intellectual, so that was like his game.
Oh, yes.
What's the game we played with your parents like 4 times about the dates?
Chronology.
Okay, so he liked that one too. We played that one. You make your own timeline, and you have to you draw a card, and someone will read you a fact like, the Declaration of Independence was signed in this year. And then...
You don't have to give the exact year.
But you start with a card, and your date may say 1555.
Right.
And you're like, well, I know it was after that. So as long as it's after that, you've won. But the more cards you get, you have to like fit it in between all the dates, and it gets harder and harder.
Yeah. So that was a fun one. And we usually get the chance to play games we would never normally see.
Yeah.
We would never normally play. And a lot of it, of course, has to do with kids because we have our kids with us. Yeah. So we play with them a lot when we're at my parents' house.
Is there any that you go and you see that closet and you're just like, oh man, I remember playing this?
Yes, Girl Talk.
Girl Talk.
I immediately when you asked
Is
that
the
question,
one with the phone?
No, I don't think it actually has a phone.
Okay.
It has someone's on a phone on the cover, I think.
Is that what it is?
But I honestly don't remember much about it. But I do remember that there's like fake pimples you have to put on.
I think my sister had that one. And she also had Mall Madness.
Oh, I know what Mall Madness is.
Yeah.
My parents don't have it.
There's a sale at the fashion boutique.
Attention shoppers.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a really good time. We said as we started talking about this that we didn't really play very many games, but we did.
We did play a lot.
They were just a lot of family games with our kids. Like that's what we did when we were at Grandma's house before we headed to the lake. And then when we stay at the lake,
you got to jump in the lake.
Yeah, it doesn't get dark until like 9:45, and so we're just swimming hard all day. And then we played a couple games after, swimming, and everyone went to bed, but not as much as we thought. It was a good location for games, if you think about it, like a cabin and hanging out, but it just didn't happen.
We were lucky to not have like completely rainy days.
That's true. If it would have rained, which being from Arizona, it never does.
Right.
So going anywhere else in the country, you're like, oh yeah, it's probably going to rain or something's going to happen.
So, with that being said, we are going to be talking about something that we picked up while on our travels, Cosmic Encounter Duel.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Let's come back and talk about it. Okay, guys, Cosmic Encounter Duel. Not the regular Cosmic Encounter, but this new one.
Yes, or if you're like me, the first one
That's true.
that
And
you've ever played.
why don't you explain a little bit about what this game is?
Okay, so Cosmic Encounter Duel is a competitive game for 2 players, as you might suspect from that name, Duel. Players are going to take on the role of alien races to battle for control of 5 planets. It's based in the world of Cosmic Encounter, right? From the 70s?
Yeah, I
80s?
think the first version of the game was like 1978 or something crazy.
Okay, and even you told me the original aliens come back and are featured as envoys in this new game.
Yeah, so some of them, they do show up. Most of the people that you can be are brand new to this game.
Correct.
But the other races show up.
Just as kind of like friendships you can ally with.
Yeah, they're allies. So you can they have special powers that you can just say, I'm going to request your help in this fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about the game, just enough to kind of get you excited about what it might be.
Yeah, whet your whistle.
Yes, it is cards.
Yeah.
It's not dice.
No. If you have ever played Cosmic Encounter, it's that experience smushed down to 2 people. That game is usually played better in a bigger setting, like 4 or 5. This is just a back and forth between 2 people.
Yep.
So you have all the things that you're familiar with, cards with numbers. The highest number wins.
Imagine that.
Yeah, who knew? Unless you have somebody who says that the lowest number wins, and then that changes
Oh,
it.
this is when it gets confusing.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this game, so let's just go ahead and jump in and break it down.
But break it down.
Yeah. Ease of setup and tear down. Angela, is this easy to set up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Number 2.
Moving on. No. Okay. It is easy to set up. There are decks to shuffle. And there are some pieces to arrange. There's nice little, what are they, acrylic battleships?
Yeah, that's cool. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, Christian really likes the colors. The orange. And that I'm being serious. So you do have to arrange some battleships. They stack nicely, though. Mm-hmm. There's no game board.
No.
There's not many components. Like we've said in the past on other episodes like Watergate, smaller box, which usually equals less setup.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is a lot of stuff crammed into this box because you do have a lot of things that you're in control of. You have a lot of cards in your deck, but you only have 5 at a time. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of ships in possession, but you can only play 4 at most at a time. So there's still a lot of stuff in the box, but there's not a lot that you have to be like, put 3 of this there, 2 of this there, flip this card over. You just take all your colors and you can just drag it to your side, and you're kind of ready.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's probably one of the easiest ones we own to set up and tear down.
Yeah, teardown's just the opposite of setup.
Not always, though. Sometimes...
Not for you, because you don't do it.
Oh, burn. Look at that, guys. Well, Cosmic Encounter Duel on the podcast.
Game has started.
I do
I know.
tear down.
You've gotten so much better.
You're going to have to go listen back on some other episodes. And I'm not talking to the listener. I'm talking to you.
You're talking to
Christian.
me. Oh, okay.
Okay. It's not just that reason. Sometimes when you tear down a game, it doesn't fit in the box the way it did when you first opened it. So that can be frustrating.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Or sometimes when you set up a game, it takes so much time to like get all the pieces in the right area. But then when you tear it down, it's easy to just slide them into a bag. So sometimes it's not just the opposite of each other.
I get that. Like for this one specifically, there might be a lot of card shuffling that happens through the game. And there's a lot of trading of cards. So they're all color-coded. So at the end of the game, you might just have to sort everything out again to make the setup that much easier next time.
Or just shove it all in the box and see what happens.
Yeah, but nothing will change until you play again. And then if you open it and go, yeah, that's not right. Let's play something else.
That was terrible advice. Don't take my advice. Okay. 2.
Number 2.
How accessible is learning to play?
I would say that this game, I experienced this game as a fairly easy game to learn.
Okay, explain that.
The rule book is pretty short. There's not much in it. There's no classic Fantasy Flight learn to play and then a giant rules reference. It's, like I mentioned earlier, it's the highest card or the highest number wins. And you do things to get to the point where you play your card to then reveal what that number is. So you can manipulate a few things beforehand going into that. But when it comes down to it, it's the highest number is the winner.
Okay. I would agree that for us, it's fairly easy and accessible. And for probably anyone who's a moderate to, what would the word be, heavy game player?
Well, they don't like to be called heavy gun.
No, you know what I'm saying. Oh, he's going to make this hard for me the whole time.
No, if you're a veteran.
Yeah, there we go. Veteran. Okay, veteran. Game player, then it will probably be just fine in terms of learning how to play. Mm-hmm. I did miss my learn to play and you holding your rules reference and us spending hours and hours trying to learn how to play a game.
I hope no game takes hours and hours.
I do think that for someone who's not used to strategy games, it's probably not a great game for them. Not because they couldn't learn the mechanics, but because there are a lot of layers that are going to have to be unpacked of strategy.
Okay.
In order to play well and to enjoy your experience, I think. Like someone could understand that, okay, I put ships out. Okay, I reveal a tactic. Okay, I lay down a card. Okay, my alien has powers. But they're not going to know how to use all those things well if they're not used to strategy games.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
I respectfully disagree.
You disagree with that statement?
No, I think it's easier than you're saying it is for new people.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we're still learning and unpacking the strategy.
The strategy for sure.
Oh, okay.
But we know how to play it. I think that for me,
we're talking about two different things.
For me, it's two different things. Yes, learning to play it, it was simple for some people like us to pick it up, and then to get to that next level is something that we're still trying to figure out. We're getting there.
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
I'm just going to use you as the example because I think in the game world it is mostly male dominated.
Yes, that's true.
So, and I hope I'm not making too broad of a stroke here, but I think most females were brought in to the game world from some sort of exposure from a partner or a friend that was male.
Probably.
Okay. Not everyone, but if you were trying to convince me to kind of get into strategy games, would this be your method, this game?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean, you could say hey, let's play a game that's like the card game War, but different.
Cosmic Encounter Duel. It's like the card game War, but different.
But different. Thank you, Fantasy Flight. You can take that.
Okay, well, we don't have to discuss that much more. I was just thinking, if I were trying to convince someone, I'm thinking female to another female friend now. I'm thinking, hey, Susan, whatever.
Classic Susan.
Come on over and let me introduce you to strategy games by playing Cosmic Encounter Duel.
No, you wouldn't play this one because it's too nerdy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by it being in outer space and lasers and spaceships.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's nerdy because of the layers.
Okay.
It's like an onion.
Oh. Take a bite of that.
You know what? Should we handshake and respectfully disagree on number
sure.
2?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I wish you guys could feel the love in the room.
So yeah, it would say, okay, so let's just recap. Learning to play. It's moderate. Is that a better word? It's a moderately hard game. Moderately
No, I would
easy.
say it's easy.
Okay.
Fairly easy.
Okay. Fairly easy to learn to play.
One step below moderate.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Okay, fairly easy.
We're muddying the waters.
How immersive is this experience, Christian? This is number 3 for us, and we love to talk about this one.
It's okay.
Moving on.
Just kidding. I was just reading what you wrote on these notes.
Did I write that?
It's okay.
It's okay. Do you like my description?
Yeah,
guys?
I do. I love it. So for us, for many of you out there, like immersiveness for us lately has just been like, what story are you telling? Do you feel like the characters you're being? That doesn't really happen in this game. You don't feel like some alien race battling for planets because it's seen from such a high view. You're like at the, to use space terms, like the 900 light year view.
Wow.
You know how they say like 10,000 foot view of whatever.
Absolutely, I know.
So it's like that, but in space.
Absolutely.
So you're like
What a description.
you're so far above it that you don't really feel. You're kind of orchestrating things rather than like being in it. Does that make sense?
It's like an out-of-body experience.
Sure.
I think that you know what? Let's use the sandwich approach. You know how when you have to give bad news to someone, you give a compliment first, then you give the bad news, and then you compliment again.
Yeah, that happens.
That's the sandwich method.
That's what you've been doing to me for.
Try it in your emails. In hard corporate emails, you sandwich the hard news. Okay.
Great job on the reports.
Yeah.
Jeff is fired. Great job on the reports. Because you need the same bread on both sides.
Oh, well, that's where the analogy fails. All of you out there, you're welcome for that piece of advice, the sandwich method.
All right, so you're going to hit us with some bad news, it sounds like.
I'm going to sandwich method this.
So did I start with a good piece of bread?
No,
you're personally doing it. I got you. Okay, go.
I like the ships. I like that they are acrylic, that they're not just cardboard.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that the artwork is well done, and it is fun to look at. These aliens are part funny, part kind of gross sometimes, part...
Yeah, the pickler or whatever that one is.
Yeah, part cute, that dolphin. You'll have to look. And this fails miserably in connecting me to the world I'm supposed to be in.
Okay.
Even in the rule book, there is like a measly 2 paragraphs about what is happening. Like, why are these 2 races fighting over these planets? Mm-hmm. What is going... And they do give like a slight description of that. I think it's like...
It's like a paragraph
it's a
and a half.
C minus at best. There's like, for me, there's no meat to like why are we actually fighting over the control of 5 planets? Like, I don't understand what's going on. So do I feel like I'm an actual alien in space fighting? No. But then here's this other bread, the sandwich bread.
All right, let's put the top on this sandwich.
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe it's because I am not aware of this already established world of Cosmic Encounter.
Yeah, I think that's probably key.
Okay.
My experience with Cosmic Encounter is very limited. I've played it maybe twice.
Yep.
But I enjoyed it immensely. I had a really good time. And I'll explain that later in the fun factor segment. But I think playing that game before playing this one, it helped me make sense of this Duel game. Okay. If that makes sense. Itself makes sense.
I can get on board with that because, kind of if you're seeing the sequel, there's no need to rehash the whole first story.
Right. Yeah, and I want to piggyback on what you said about the art. One of the things that drew me to this game was how it looked. Mm-hmm. Just because, like, look at my computer background right now that
It's
we're
the
sitting in front
same.
of. It's the same, like, Outrun retro 80s vibe. With
Tron.
You got the pinks, the neon blues, the oranges, the purples. All that retro vibe is in this game with, like, the shapes of the Envoy cards. Not the shapes, but the icons that are on those cards.
Oh, yeah, the
They're very, like,
triangles.
three-dimensional, like, old school graphics.
Conic sections is what we would call them in calculus.
There you go.
Okay.
Who's the nerd?
It's me.
So I do love seeing that. I really enjoy that. So yes, the art is great. I do like the ships, and I also want to talk about how I love the orange ships. They are just so
I
bright
know.
and fun. I have never been orange. You always grab orange. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Did you do it on purpose?
Yes.
Okay, we're taking this game back. We are currently selling a game of Cosmic Encounter Duel on eBay for sale.
I didn't know that you love them so much, but I do purposely take the one.
Oh man, they're just so bright, and I just want to win with orange.
Okay,
Man,
you can take the orange. Blue is just such a subdued color in this game.
it's still very bright.
The orange is better.
Yeah, it's very true. They should just have orange and like
Hot pink.
yeah, bright pink would be cool.
Well, they probably wouldn't look different enough.
That's probably a colorblind thing, to be honest, like accessibility.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So yeah, we it's probably less than in the middle of being immersive.
Yeah,
That's a great scale. We're all over the place. It's been a couple weeks since we've done a show, but that's okay.
I think we're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing it very well.
Should we give ourselves a pat on the back?
Let's do it. Let's do a sandwich. Let's say like we started off the show really good, and in the middle, we kind of rambled on a little bit. But now, as we put on the last piece of bread of the show,
It's gonna blow people's minds.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's not the most immersive game. You're not going on a journey like Lord of the Rings. You're not playing Star Wars in a board game like Rebellion. You're just kind of fighting over.
What are you doing?
You're kind of fighting over planets.
It's unclear why.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so like, why in Monopoly are you trying to buy property? There's
I
no
didn't-
backstory in Monopoly.
I didn't say Monopoly was immersive.
No, I'm just saying like. I don't think all games need to be like super immersive.
No, I didn't either.
Okay.
I'm just saying this one is not.
Okay. You seemed kind of mad at the beginning of this part.
Guys, I am not mad. I am totally fine.
Did you have fun playing this game?
Oh, this is the fourth topic, the fun factor. And I really honestly try to have, well, sounds silly. I try to have fun in whatever game we bring to the table, but it might be different kinds of fun.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
So, is this fun? Maybe.
Maybe.
Do you want to go first, and then I'll see if
Yeah.
I can form
I'll go
some
first.
thought?
The answer is yes.
All right.
This game is fun. I like it a lot. It is unpredictable. It is there in that there's always the element of surprise. You could be up 3 planets to 1, and then just something happens where there's elements in the game where you and I would have to just switch decks completely. Just like, you give me your cards and I'll take, and then it's like, well, my plan's out the window.
Yep.
Now I have to re-strategize and make something work. So everything I planned up to that point is just, it's gone. So that is really fun for me. And I love this game because it forces players to do something that they might not want to do. In that, changing cards is one option. But the fact that it forces you to battle over those planets at specific times when you may not want to, because your cards in your hand are terrible. But guess what? You still have to do it. So I like that. One of the favorite games that we have is the Game of Thrones, the the Iron Throne, which is actually a game that is based off of Cosmic Encounter. So it plays very similar. Except you just have characters in Game of Thrones going up to fight each other. And so houses from Game of Thrones throw their allegiance behind another house, and then you battle.
Now there's some immersivity, if that's a word.
Yes.
Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that I could get behind, why we're actually battling.
Right. Because you know those characters.
Yeah.
If it was like just alien races that you didn't really know.
Tell me a story.
Once upon a time, long time ago.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
I'm saying give me a setup in the rule book.
I don't know if there is in that one, but I think just because you're already previously connected to that world, it's a little better. But like in that game and in Cosmic Encounter, you can't hide. In this game, you can't hide behind something you don't want to do. It's like, fighting's not good for me now, so I'm just going to take a market action. And it's just like, no, like, you just have to do it.
You know what it's like? It's like those people that you personally dislike in laser tag.
Me?
Yeah. That just like hide the whole time by the target.
Yeah.
And just like they don't actually run out and play the game.
Yeah.
They just hide.
Yep. It's like, why are you in there?
Hate that.
Yeah. It's like paintball, airsoft. It's like, I'm just going to hide in the corner. Then don't come and play. So I love this game in that you just don't know what's going to happen. Because that's how I just work in life generally. I'm really good at just pivoting to the next thing, no matter what comes my way. Yep. So I'm ready for anything. I am not a good planner, and so a game like this where the plans can change, I'm okay, and I can adjust accordingly. Yes,
you take enjoyment in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if I lose on a crazy thing that happens, like we had one game which I think I won. But in reality, like, you kind of won, but...
No, I didn't win.
No.
At the last minute, my whole plan, the whole game, was completely thwarted because of one card you laid down.
Yeah, that's what it was, is I thought you were going to win, and then I just drew a card or used an ally envoy thing, and I was like, oh, I can win right now. And I just did it, and it was done.
Yeah.
You loved it.
That was super fun. Okay. All right. I'm still trying to figure out, honestly, how I feel about this game. Would I bring it to the table tonight? Yes.
Okay, good.
I would.
Let's go do that.
Well, I'm not, like, pouty about it. But all the things that you heard Christian say that he loves, I have a hard time enjoying in games. So, I do enjoy the idea of like, ooh, okay, we're going to sit down. I'm going to choose my alien race because all of them have different powers or different things. Sometimes it's a win condition. Sometimes it's something that'll help you in battle or a contest. Sometimes it's a setup change. Anyway, so I enjoy the idea of like choosing my alien, setting up how I'm going to best use that in my own head. Like, not game setup, but just like planning in my head. I enjoy the strategy of like enacting that. Like, okay, so how many ships should I send and what tactics should I play that would ensure that I would win or lose the battle depending on what my strategy is. What gets me in a funk about this is that there seems to be too much outside of my control. Yeah. And that has to be like a sweet spot for me to really like a game. Okay. I can enjoy it at face value as like kind of like a really, really strategic war game. Like, not war game, but like the actual card game War. Oh, okay. Like, we're laying down cards and the highest one wins, right? I guess I can enjoy it as kind of like a war on steroids.
Yeah, on space roids.
Yeah. But I'm struggling with discovering the deeper strategy. Okay. And I'm not too invested in it yet, which means that I'm not super mad if I lose, but I'm also not super happy if I win. So I gotta play. I've played quite a bit, but I think I still gotta play some more.
Yeah. Do you think there's like a alien race that if you find that you'll love, or do you think it's a combination of finding that one alien race which changes the strategy and just playing it more?
That would be what I would do.
Yeah.
You would probably want to just play different alien races every time.
I would just close my eyes and pick one.
Yeah. And I don't actually mind that idea in this game because I like the idea of figuring out how to play that alien race the right way.
That's fun. To use the category word, that's fun for you.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so this race, for instance, is not so much focused on winning battles unless it stops you from getting the 5.
Right. Because you need to stop me from getting 5. You can't just lose every time.
Yeah. So I try to figure out how to play that balance.
Okay.
Or some of them have to do with tucking cards under your race card and winning that way. Yeah, so I like that strategy. I think I just usually in a game, when I've played it the number of times we've played Cosmic Encounter Duel, I have an idea of if I like it or not.
Okay.
And I'm just not so sure.
You're still up in the air.
This one's still up in the air. It's, you know what? It's up in space.
Up in space. Yeah, I am liking this a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. I do think for me, even though there is a sweet spot of too much randomness, this game tends to lean on the edge of that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I like to be, where it's just probably much further over the line than you.
Yeah.
But if everything was random in this game, that would be too much. But every time we play, we could have a game where we draw the wrong cards at the wrong time. And just so much changes within 3 turns that it would throw us all off. But then the next time we play, they're a little bit more spread out just by the way we shuffled and drew the cards.
Yeah, but what's crazy about what you just said in this game is that what's considered a bad card in one game might be a great card in another game.
The next time you play.
Because of
or in
who
2
your
turns.
alien race is.
Yeah.
Or who your envoy is.
Yeah, that one that we've gotten multiple times, we usually blind draw them, is the one who flips the digits around. So if you have a 9, it's a 0-9. That's not a very good card. Mm-hmm. But if you have that envoy, that ally, well, now it's a 90.
It's Rormir.
Rormir.
Mirror backwards, right?
That's
or Rorim.
Yeah.
Rorim.
I like Rormir because that reminded me of Boromir a little bit. From Lord of the Rings. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings guy.
Now everyone's mentally picturing spelling mirror backwards. It's Rormir.
Rorim. Yeah. So that one, the 9 is also now super valuable. But at the same time, it also changes it for your partner or your duelist.
Yeah.
So you don't know what they're going to play either. So they could have... But that 10 that they might play is now it's a 0-1. So they screws them over. But yeah, it's
very intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay. Christian, is it worth it? This is our 5th category.
Yeah. And these always bleed together for me. With the way I've talked about it, I am sure you can figure out that, yeah, for me, it is definitely worth it. There is 22 alien races that you can choose from. And I like that they all vary in difficulty. They color code them. So it's if you want to play one that doesn't change the rules too much, you just grab a green one. And if you do one that's in the middle of the road, yellow, harder one, red. And they change... the red ones change more than the green ones. And then, I mentioned earlier, you draw cards as a part of this game, and that tells you what to do next. So you might draw a card that's hey, get resources. And then at the bottom of that card, it will say, okay, now you have to fight. And so then you fight, and then you flip over that card, and it says, okay, now you can recover stuff. And so you draw that deck.
Yep.
And you shuffle all those every time, so there's a lot of replayability, and every time you play it's going to be different. There's no way that it would ever be the same.
Yeah. No way. And it's relatively short playtime.
I'm always surprised by how short it is.
So that's good for us because it means we're likely to like squeeze it in a time where we wouldn't normally have, set aside 2-3 hours for a board game.
Yeah.
This one we can squeeze in 40 minutes.
Yeah, if that. Sometimes I feel like
minutes.
we play and we kind of look across the table from each other and we're like, do you want to do another one?
Yeah.
And like, this is one where I can see myself always saying yes. There are other games that may be the same length, like Watergate, or even like some games of Keyforge go very long. And it's like, oh, do you want to do another one? Usually I'm like, no. Like maybe there's too much thinking in the other games, or like mentally drained from like everything that was going. But this one I feel like I would continue playing longer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
How do you feel about it?
I think, yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's, I usually think about this in a very like black and white, like cost versus how many times we're going to bring it to the table. So it's like a price per play type of thing. And so it's definitely worth it in that respect. It was on the cheaper end of a board game.
I think it was like $35 or something, 40 maybe.
So usually I think of like 50 to 60 as standard. And then, you got Twilight Imperium and things like that on the higher end.
Yeah.
And then you've got, your roll-in rights in the $15, $20 range. So this is, well under the standard price of my scale. And we've played it a lot, and we will probably continue to play it so that I can figure out if I like it or not.
Yeah, I feel like usually in this point of the game, of the podcast or the games that we talk about, like we have played them quite a bit before we actually talk about them. I'm not saying we didn't do that for this one, but at the end of recording a show, it's like, okay, good. I don't want to play Lord of the Rings Journey for Middle-earth for like a year now. You know what I mean? Like, because we played it so many times.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm like, yeah, let's play it tomorrow. Like, I'm excited to do that rather than like, I don't need to detox from this game.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. That's a good sign. All right. So we will be back to talk about some other thoughts, ideas, and things that came up while we played this game.
Yeah. Stay tuned. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed our conversation about Cosmic Encounter Duel. And usually in this point part of the show, we just kind of expand on something that popped up as we played this game. And this kind of brought up a broader conversation of games in general. But specifically in this game, for you, Angela, you had the thought of like, is there too much going on?
Yeah.
In this game and maybe some other games? Like, is there too much to keep track of? Like, how much is too much?
Yeah. And like sometimes we could obviously easily say that this brought out differences in our marriage because you've already heard it, like the planning versus the unpredictability, in Christian and me.
Just the classic battle we have every game.
Yeah. So that, of course, came up in this game as well. But one new thing was this idea that, is there too much going on? And not just like, is there too much to remember? But are there too many layers? And this got brought up because of one playthrough. My alien race... Okay, so let's back up. The game itself has a win condition, which is the first player to control 5 planets.
Yeah, it's a race to 5.
Okay, so there's that one win condition already there. Then the alien race that I chose had a different win condition.
Was it an additional one, or was it just that's the only way you could win?
An additional one.
I couldn't remember. Okay, so there's 2.
Okay, so now there's 2 ways I can win. Then, through the course of playing, I acquired an envoy, which is just like another alien that can help me, that Now, and one could argue I didn't have to acquire that envoy. I could have just sent it back. Okay, but for the sake of argument,
Well, and that game, you didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I chose to employ the help of that envoy, and that envoy had a third win condition. And my brain was just kind of exploding with like, okay, it's one thing to have strategy in a game, and it's another thing to just like mess with your mind entirely. Am I getting my point across? I don't know. Because I do like strategy.
Yeah.
I do. So I don't know if I'm saying it the right way. And if you've listened to previous podcasts of ours, like, I love things that are deep and heavy in the thinking category. But this one just made me think, like, are we bordering up on the edge of, like, there's literally too much going on? Or have we maybe crossed over? And yeah, are there any thoughts, Christian?
I'm trying to think of some, and I'm trying to think also of some other games that maybe have this problem or like a variation of this problem. I know games for me personally that have a lot going on are like Abomination.
Okay, but we're all going through the same goal.
Exactly. And that's where it differs. Or like the game recently that I don't even know how to say it, Pret-a-Porter.
Pret-a-porter.
Yeah.
That's how I say it.
Where that's so fancy.
I know, thank you.
Where when you look at that board, I'm just usually like blown away about how much is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, there's only one win condition, and it's just how you get there.
Yeah.
That makes it challenging and what path you choose. This one, it threw 3 different things at you randomly that one game, and you didn't know. Your brain was like melting on, okay, so should I just go for the main game, or should I not do this?
And then I think, well, I don't know if it happened in that all in one perfect storm, but then it brought up the point of like, well, then what if your alien had a separate win condition?
Yeah, and there probably was a combination of having that happen.
And they're not secrets, so it's not like
no, you know who you're fighting.
It's not like your dueling partner keeps their win conditions secret. So if that were to happen, if you were to get this perfect storm of the game's win condition plus 2 alien races that have different win conditions, plus maybe an envoy, or maybe even 2, like you have one and I have one, that have different win conditions. It's just like, what game are we even playing?
Just give me one direction to win and I'll do it.
Like, what is the game actually? That's how I felt like you're messing with it too much.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me because I don't love the unpredictable thing. And because I've worked so hard at like trying to understand how to play this alien race and then how to incorporate that into the game's original win condition and decide if I'm going to sacrifice one for the other. You know, like how can I use my alien race's power to
help you win?
Help me win the normal win condition.
Mm-hmm.
If all this sounds confusing, yeah.
It's because you're confused.
Yes.
I'm honestly a little confused.
Sit in that for a little bit. That is how meta this game can get.
That's a good word. Yeah, and I think it was just kind of a perfect storm of having that happen, that you were just kind of like, wait, what? Yeah. But I also think to give the game credit, I think that's just what this game is. I think it's made to just be crazy. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like it.
Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Maybe.
Maybe you're not supposed to, like... Maybe it's just supposed to be kind of like...
I think it's supposed to be, well, fun for me. I was
Well,
going to say fun, but that's different for you.
Kind of like a hallucinogenic trip of just, like, one thing after another. And I'm just like, wait.
Yeah, it's like that scene in, is it Thor, where they go through like light speed and their whole like faces distort and they like
Yeah.
they get all smushed around.
So it brought up that thought of like, can a game just have too much going on? And this one was just intriguing because it wasn't actually the learning of it that felt like it had too much going on, but the more we play it, which usually, in fact, in all the games we've ever played, it's the opposite.
Yeah, the easier it gets, the more you play.
Yeah, we usually lay out a board for the first time and we're like, okay, there's too much going on.
Yeah. Thank you, Predaporter.
Yeah, but then we figure out how to play it and it becomes more and more and more consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I think I'll just say it one more time. I think this game is not meant to be consistent.
It's not.
It's just supposed to be wild.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I gotta just love it or leave it the way it is.
Yeah, so hopefully you love it so that we can play it.
We'll have to update people
There you go.
in the future.
I think we will.
This episode is sponsored by Show It. Hey, Christian, why do we love Show It?
Well, we love it because we are terrible at designing websites.
That is true.
And we were able to make our site using Show It in a couple hours.
Yeah, if you're stuck in like some boring website template, you need to check out Show It and experience what they have to offer. It's really simple. It's drag and drop. And our website, if you've never been there, is beautiful, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, we use Show It to make it, and you can get started for free. Showit.co. Check it out. As we wrap up the show, we always like to ask everybody a question. What's on our minds? Kind of in the theme with the show, we're going to kind of take a little bit of different term. We're going to draw a different card. We're going to change the rules, like Cosmic Encounter Duel.
Oh my goodness, it's unpredictable.
Yep. Sit down, Angela. Don't leave. This week, actually, is Gen Con, which is very exciting, actually.
Because
it's online.
It is online?
Yeah, that is not really exciting because everyone who was going probably actually wanted to go. Thanks a lot, coronavirus. But I think it's great that they're doing online. We know for sure Fantasy Flight is doing a stream. To be honest, I don't know if other companies are following and doing that. I know there's a lot going on, but check out the website to get more information. And if you listen to this before Wednesday the 29th, the Fantasy Flight is doing a live stream of what they call their in-flight report.
In-flight report?
That's
Is
right.
That creature report?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've watched too many kids' cartoons in our life.
Octonauts reference.
Yep, there you go. And what they do is they just kind of say, they kind of give like a yearly recap of where they've been and then also where they're going. I'm super interested into where they're going. And we are going to watch that together, you and me.
You don't have to convince me.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Good. I'm telling you. And we're actually going to do like a little quick show afterwards and just do like a quick reaction on like what we're most looking forward to, because they are going to announce some new things. They're going to talk about Marvel Champions. Maybe they'll talk about Cosmic Encounter Duel, your favorite. Ooh. Or maybe Outer Rim. Ooh. We don't know. I'm excited. We've been playing a lot of Outer Rim recently, actually. So a new content for that game would be awesome. Yes. So our question to you guys is, what are you looking forward to this week for Gen Con? Or if you're listening late, what was your favorite announcement?
Yeah.
What game piqued your interest? Or maybe there was a new release, like a same-day release that you're just dying to get.
Yeah. It'll be exciting to see what's coming out. And, I would be excited about an Outer Rim expansion.
That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. there needs to be more content to that game just because we've played it so much in the
We've
past.
been really enjoying it. Yeah. Okay. So that is posing our question to you. Let us know. Looks like they are announcing at least 2, right?
Yeah. Or Fantasy Flight specifically.
Fantasy Flight specifically.
Yeah. They have a little schedule on their webpage that says what they're going to talk about during the Gen Con week. Some of it is separate streams later in the week about an unannounced project. So maybe there'll be more than one. Hopefully there's more than one.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that and all the new stuff. There's just going to be so much news coming out in the next week, and we're really looking forward to it, and we hope you are too. Anything else that you want to say, Angela, before we wrap this up and shut her down?
You know what, guys? It's been so good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. It's probably been about a month, I would say.
Yeah, or more maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? Cosmic Encounter just throws off time, you know?
Oh, gosh. So it was good to, I know we're not actually sitting down with all of you, but I feel like it's fun to get back into the community, not just by liking posts, but by talking about games and interacting with you guys. So,
yeah, and we love hearing from you guys, so please, 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 please reach out. Leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at Married and Bored on Instagram, hello@marriedandbored.com, and all of those other things that we'll say at the end of this show.
Yes, so listen for that.
All right, guys, we had fun. We talked about games. We're good to be back. Glad to be back.
Glad, I think, is what you mean.
All right, we'll see everyone later.
It was out of this world. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram @marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.